Hello once again YouTube, Meme Skull Cards here, and I'm back with yet another deck profile. This time it's my Infernoble Knight deck, and I brought out my Noble Knight playmat just for the occasion. Now that Duelist Nexus has come out, we got some more support, which really helps the deck a lot. And there's one tech card in here that is pretty good. So starting off with the monsters, we're playing 3 copies of Infernoble Knight Ogier. This guy is basically your Foolish Burial slash Foolish Burial goods of the deck, being able to send a Noble Arms card or one Fire Warrior monster, except for himself, from the deck to the grave. Next up, we're playing through 2 copies of Oliver. What he does is we can send one Fire Warrior monster or one equip spell from our hand or face up field to special summon this card from our hand as a level 1 monster. If this card is in my graveyard, we can target one warrior monster we control and equip this card to that monster. This works really well with the new level 5 synchro, because we don't have to rely on our opponent in that case. Next, we're playing 2 Renaud. This guy, if you control a Fire Warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you can treat it as a tuner, which is really good. You can only special summon him once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned, you can target one of your Fire Warrior monsters or one of your equip spells that is banished or in your graveyard, except for Renaud. Add it to your hand, and you can only use that effect once per turn. 1 copy of the new Turpin and Ricciardetto. I butchered this guy's name. So Turpin, while this card's a equip card, the equip monster can be treated as a tuner if used as synchro material. You can only use each of the following effects of Turpin once per turn. If you control a monster equipped with a equip card, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but if you summon it from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster you control as an equip spell. And for this guy, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, special summon one level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your hand as a tuner. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one level 4 or lower warrior monster in your graveyard, except for himself. Special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monster for the rest of the turn, except for warriors. So some of these guys do lock you into warriors, like this guy for example. You can only use one Infernoble Knight Ricciardo effect per turn, and only once that turn. So with him, it's either one or the other. Next up, we play 1 Roland, 1 Astolfo. Roland says, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster you control, equip that card. Equip this card from your hand to that target as an equip spell that gives that card 500 attack. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because of the center this turn, you can add one Fire Warrior monster except for Roland or one equip spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Infernoble Knight Roland once per turn. And Astolfo says, you can banish one Fire Warrior monster from your hand or graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, then you can make this card's level become the level of that banished monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon this banished card during your second standby phase after this effect's activation. Then you can special summon one of your Fire Warrior monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Astolfo once per duel. Next up, a really good engine, Neospace Connector, which gets out your Neospatian Aqua Dolphin to rip out a card from your opponent's hand. And next, your boss monster, 2 copies of Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, who you can get him out really easy by banishing equip spell from field or graveyard, and special summon this guy from hand. When a monster effect is activated, you can send 1 face-up equip spell you control to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So it's a really good boss monster for the deck. And next, 2 extenders, Super Quantum Red Layer and Fire Flint Lady, both of which are free bodies on board. And lastly, our hand trap, Axe Blossom, 3 copies. Now moving on to the spells, we're playing 3 copies of Heritage of Chalice. This is like your Rhoda of the deck, adds a Noble Knight monster or 1 Noble Arms card, including the new field spell, from your deck to your hand. If your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms spell, equipped spell is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. While this card's in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use 1 Heritage of the Chalice effect per turn, and only once that turn. Next, we're playing 3 copies of Noble Arms Museum, and thankfully the effect of this guy is soft once per turn, so if you play another copy, you'll be able to use it again. So all fire warrior monsters you control gain 500 attack. Once per turn, you can pay 1200 life points, add 1 Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand, except for Museum. Once per turn, if the previous effect was applied this turn, you can target 1 Noble Knight monster card in your spell and trap card zone, special summon it. Also, if you activate this effect while you did not control Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except warrior monsters, which is not that big of a deal. Then we're playing 3 Infernoble Arms Durandal. This is basically your Rhoda for the deck. 1 Almace. This swaps itself out for another Noble Arms card. 1 copy of Infernoble Arms Joyous. This swaps itself out for... This destroys itself to add a fire warrior monster in your graveyard to your hand. And the tech card is this really old card, Metal Silver Armor. What this does is, basically, as long as you control the equipped monster with this card, your opponent cannot use the effect of spell, trap, or monster cards that specifically designates 1 monster, including monsters in the graveyard, other than the equipped monster as a target. So basically, your opponent can only target the equipped monster. So if you somehow make that monster unaffected, all their targeting effects are nullified. So yeah, it's really good. 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. You can only equip this card to a warrior type monster. Increase the attack of the equipped monster by 300 points. If this card is in your graveyard during the main phase, by removing from play 2 warrior type monsters from your graveyard, add this card to your hand. That last effect is the main important effect. So you have a card to discard with or do whatever you want with. Next, Living Fossil. This is basically a monster born for level 4 or lower, but the monster gets banished afterwards. 1 Rhoda, self-explanatory. Gets us 4 Rhodas total. 1 call by. And then 2 Infinite Impermanence. Now for the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of the new Angelica, Princess of Noble Arms. If this card is special summon, you can add 1 here, a Horn of Oliphant, or 1 card that mentions Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles, which would be your field spell, from your deck to your hand. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can send 1 Fire Warrior monster from your deck to your graveyard, and if you do, banish this card until the end phase. Then you can special summon 1 Roland monster from your deck or extra deck. You can only use each effect of Angelica once per turn. So she is really good. Then we're playing one copy of Infernoble Captain Roland, mostly to use the her banishing effect to get him out. We could get him out the regular way. It's just we won't be able to special summon him from the graveyard since he wasn't summoned properly. Next one, Crimson Blader. It's a fire warrior. It's really good. Stops our opponents from normal or special summoning level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. But it doesn't stop them from link summoning or doing whatever. One Baron de Fleur, self-explanatory. She's really good. Two Infernoble Knight, Noble Knight Emperor Charles, really good. What he does is, if an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, you can destroy one card on the field. During the end phase, you can equip one equipped spell from your hand or graveyard to this card. Then you can equip one Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. So at most, during each end phase, you're destroying 2 cards. Then for the XDs, we're playing one Sacred Noble Knight of King Custodin, Arturgus, King of the Noble Knights, and one Divine Arsenal Zeus. For the Link monsters, we're playing 2 I sold, Best Link 2. Then we're playing 2 Emperor Charles the Great. He basically he needs the level 9 synchro, and then with an equip spell, and then he equips that level 9 to himself and gains the same effects. And lastly, we play Ferocious Flame Swordsman. He boosts up our warrior monsters by 500 attack, and if he's destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect while in its owner's monster zone, you can target one non-link warrior monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. And now we're moving on to the side deck. 3 Dark Ruler No More, 2 Lightning Storm, 3 Forbidden Droplets, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, 1 Harpies, and lastly 3 Evenly Match. If you like the deck profile, don't forget to leave a like. If you have any suggestions on how I could better improve the deck, leave comments down below. And if you're new to the channel and are coming back, feel free to subscribe if you want. I will see you all in the next video.